Macmillan Audio presents Boneshaker by Cherie Priest. Read for you by Kate Redding and Will Wheaton.
In this age of invention, the science of arms has made great progress. In fact, the most remarkable inventions have been made since the prolonged wars of Europe in the early part of the century, and the short Italian campaign of France in 1859 served to illustrate how great a power the engines of destruction can exert. Thomas P. Kettle, History of the Great Rebellion, from its commencement to its close, giving an account of its origin, the secession of the Southern states, and the formation of the Confederate government, the concentration of the military and financial resources of the federal government, the development of its vast power, the raising, organizing, and equipping of the contending armies and navies, lucid, vivid, and accurate descriptions of battles and bombardments, sieges and surrender of forts, captured batteries, etc., etc. The immense financial resources and comprehensive measures of the government, the enthusiasm and patriotic contributions of the people, together with sketches of the lives of all the eminent statesmen and military and naval commanders, with a full and complete index from official sources.
From Unlikely Episodes in Western History, Chapter 7, Seattle's Walled and Peculiar State. Work in Progress by Hale Corder, 1880. Unpaved, uneven trails pretended to be roads. They tied the nation's coasts together like laces holding a boot, binding it with crossed strings and crossed fingers. And over the great river, across the plains, between the mountain passes, the settlers pushed from east to west. They trickled over the Rockies in dribs and drabs, in wagons and coaches. Or this is how it began. In California there were nuggets the size of walnuts lying on the ground, or so it was said, and truth travels slowly when rumors have wings of gold. The trickle of humanity became a magnificent flow. The glittering western shores swarmed with prospectors, pushing their luck and pushing their pans into the gravelly streams, praying for fortunes. In time the earth grew crowded, and claims became more tenuous. Gold came out of the ground in dust so fine that the men who mined it could have inhaled it. In 1850 another rumor, winged and sparkling, came swiftly from the north. The Klondike, it said. Come and cut your way through the ice you find there. A fortune in gold awaits a determined enough man. The tide shifted and looked to the northern latitudes. This meant very, very good things for the last frontier stop before the Canadian border, a backwater mill town on Puget Sound called Seattle, after the native chief of the local tribes. The muddy village became a tiny empire nearly overnight, as explorers and prospectors paused to trade and stock up on supplies. While American legislators argued over whether or not to buy the Alaska Territory, Russia hedged its bets and considered its asking price. If the land were really pocked with gold deposits, the game would absolutely change. But even if a steady supply of gold could be located, could it be retrieved? A potential vein spotted intermittently but mostly buried beneath 100 feet of permanent ice would make for an ideal testing ground. In 1860 the Russians announced a contest offering a 100,000 ruble prize to the inventor who could produce or propose a machine that could mine through ice in search of gold. And in this way a scientific arms race began, despite the budding Civil War. Across the Pacific Northwest, big machines and small machines were tinkered into existence. They were tricky affairs, designed to withstand...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?